This is Chris Janke from Health in the Real World podcast. This is part 2 out of 2 of an interview of Dr. Wayne Pickering, an audio-only interview. If you haven't listened to part 1, go ahead and check that out. Otherwise, let's get started on part 2. One thing I've heard you talk about, Dr. Wayne, is the 4 things you will never buy.
Yes, very good question, really. In life, and when you and I come back and do another conversation here, we have one that's called "Playing the Game of Life as a Winner with 8 Easy Moves," and we talk in detail about these 4 areas of our lives that we will never buy: our spirituality, our health, our time, and our the integrity. Integrity is a gift and it takes you years to build and seconds to destroy.
Yeah.
And there's these 4 things we'll never buy. And I'd like to talk a little bit about the time here in a moment. But we'll never buy our time, our spirituality, our integrity, and our health. So let's talk about the time. First of all, spirituality is a gift. The integrity takes you years to build, seconds to destroy, and takes you forever to get it back. Our health, we'll never buy our health, and we'll never, ever buy our time. So let's talk about time. First of all, time is what we have, and wisdom is what we do with it. And the most important piece of advice that I can share with you here is to chunk out your time to the max. And I have a special gift that I'm going to give everybody. If you will email me, mangoman@mangoman.com, I will give you what I use every day. It takes me about two hours every Saturday evening for me to formulate out my next week's schedule. Okay, and in there it's like a one page that you just and there's you can make 7 copies of them. That way you can do them all that week. But I value my time very, very much. We have our podcast series going. We have, oh gosh, coaching clients. We've got to, we got to keep up with our fitness. That requires a minimum of an hour a day.
Right.
But the most important piece of advice I can give, as I mentioned, we got to chunk out our time to the max. Now, I'm single, so it's a little bit easier. But when you think about it, you have to be a self starter. My woman, she lives 4 miles north of me. The newest lady that I'm seeing, uh, the love of my life, really, lived over there on the west coast of Florida. And but if you chunk out your time, because even if you are married, that's okay. You have to figure out that you got to put some schedule your personal development time and your fitness and all of that. Now, believe me, our 24 hours is all we really have, and pretty soon it's over. So people sleep a third of their life. People
Right.
are with their daily cares about a third of their life. They work about a third of their life. So let's say there's only a certain amount of months left that you have. Okay, let's say you're 50 and you're going to live to 80. That's 30 years. You sleep
Yeah.
a third of it. Your daily cares of life is a third of that. And our work is about a third of that. So you got about 60 months left. And most people watch television anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4 and sometimes 5 hours a day. What a waste.
Yeah.
It's such a waste. So we need to chunk out those 24 hours a whole lot better while we still have the chance. And we have 4 areas of our time that we need to be thinking about. Okay. Our
Yeah.
genius time.
Mm,
That's our most important time, and that's about 4 hours a day only, and 5 days a week only. Our buff time, I call it. That's your fine tuning, your preparation to get you ready for your genius time,
mm,
and your free time to do with what what you want. And I call it my brain candy. And our
mm.
rest time, that's our recuperation time. So,
Nice.
how do we chunk out our 24 hours? And this is the way I do it, okay? 6 to 10 in the morning is my personal development time. It's my get go, if you will. It's my buff time. And by the way, I mentioned that I'm very spiritually connected and not religiously confined. My best friend in the world, without question, is God. I am so grateful. We have so much beauty. Get out in the woods, go walking on the beach, or go walking in trails. Do some things, and but I know that our the first 15 minutes of a day, Chris, and the last 15
Yeah.
minutes of a day is when
15.
our mind it's in its most alpha state.
Yes.
It's when we're the most receptive to good things. So that's why the power of prayer is so beneficial there. And so I make sure that I get time in on that. And I always give thanks every day for three things that I wasn't grateful for before. And I did that for so many years that I took them all that I wrote down and made a track out of each day. And that I had some music behind it and everything. And I made a playlist out of it. And that's part of my personal development time every day. Okay. So 10 to 2 is our work time, our peak performance time. That's our buff time, if you will.
Yeah.
And so 1 hour of genius and 3 hours of buff is what I call it. 2 to 6 p.m. is my wind down time. And every day between 2 and 3 o'clock, I take a nap. That's my rest time.
Nice.
3 to 5, work. So I value my time. And I keep telling my audiences time is what we have, wisdom is what we do with it. And again, I've got this daily schedule in front of me, and it shows you the morning calls, the morning projects, the workouts, the afternoon projects, and the evening projects. And up there in the top right, it says day and time. So if you'll email me again, as I mentioned, mangoman@mangoman.com, I'll make sure that you get that. No cost to you. And we're not going to try to sell you anything. It's just for I enjoy giving back because when you're good to others, you're always best to yourself. And when you retool your life, your what ifs become your what is. And one
Mm,
of the great tools that I have is healthatlast.com. That's where I had Jack LaLanne on there and all of that. That'll serve you very well. But your what ifs will become your what is when you retool your life. Back at you, Chris.
wow, I love that. Your what ifs will become your what is when you retool your life. I love that. That's great. Um, I love your sayings. I think they help stick in our brain too. Our brain likes pattern and repetition, and I think I really like that. Or your what ifs become your what is.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Wayne, I want to give you a chance to. I know you've mentioned a few of your websites and your email address, but I want to give you a chance to sort of invite people to contact you. What's maybe the best way for them to get in touch with you and to learn more about your work and all the programs that you've created, the books and everything?
Okay, thank you. If you email me, well, here's a website that I'm known as the Mango Man. We've trademarked the Mango Man. We have a mango named after me. It's called the Pickering. And I'm so blessed that it's in 20, well, it's all over the world. And we get emails constantly telling us how great that is. That's a story in and of itself. And I'm honored. It's been in existence for 14 years. And so mangoman.com is our master site. And If you email me, mangoman@mangoman.com, I'll be more than happy to send you, the audience or whomever, our brochure, which has 16 of our Mango Man websites on there. 12 of them are absolutely free and they will help you immeasurably. Mango Man Digestion is in there. That's an hour, shows people how to consume food to where everything they eat stands the best chance of getting through them with the least aggravation. And in there, they've also got that Mango Man career link. They've got this link, that link. Mango Man Fitness is our fitness routines and all of that. And they're all free, nothing to sign up for and all that. There's 12 of them in there that we market, of course. And but if the purpose of that a brochure is not to sell you something, is to give you some healthy options in your life. So what I'd like to do is to make sure that people understand that we need to enjoy our health today as we close off. Is this our final moments together?
Yeah, I want to make sure though that you include everything. But yeah, we're getting close to the end.
Okay, it's mangoman.com will get there. If you email me, mangoman@mangoman.com, and ask me, say, brochure from Chris Janke's show or podcast, and I'll know exactly where you came from with that, and I'll be happy to send that to you. Nothing to buy. This is just a gift to give you some healthy options. Mangoman@mangoman.com is the email. Mangoman.com is the actual website. You've got some ammunition there. Okay, back to you, Chris.
That's great. That's great. And yeah, I want to summarize and just give my testimonial for you, Dr. Wayne, that you've been very generous with your time today. And our first conversation, we spoke for an hour and 15 minutes. And I just, when I come across somebody like you who has one, you've been doing this for a long time, you're very passionate about it, and you're still, I mean, I can tell from just all the stories you've told and about, how passionate you are about it, that it's still something that you're working to fine tune even more. And I really appreciate that. There's I guess some people call it beginner's mind. There's a term, beginner's mind, of, looking at something fresh and not assuming that you are the world renowned master just because you've been doing it for a long time. You have that beginner's mind, you have that freshness, that passion, and I really appreciate that. It's very refreshing, kind of like a mango, actually. very,
Thank you.
very, very refreshing. And I know, we spoke about Jack LaLanne a lot. Jack LaLanne, I feel like he was a generation before me, but I do feel like he was a role model for me. And I just remember, the guy was legendary, and you and him were friends for a long time. And I'm just really thankful to have met you. And I really am appreciative of the fact that you came on the show. And I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you. Can I just leave the audience with one comment here?
Absolutely.
Age is your stage and not your cage.
Yes.
Age has nothing to do with how old we are. It's not a matter of years, it's a matter of condition. So, what we need to do is change our philosophy in life. We're already out of first grade, and the reason why they make those chairs so small is because you can't fit in them anymore. So, we're already out of first grade. So, change our philosophy and watch for some enormous immediate benefits that you'll enjoy for the rest of your life. And by the way, I just now, if I can say this, remember I mentioned I was going to give people the three lessons about their health,
Yes.
and I slipped my mind on that. Okay, number one is this, very simple. You don't catch disease. That's impossible to catch it. We earn it. And when we're not doing enough fitness, when we're eating less than the best food, and remember, what you do from Christmas to New Year's doesn't matter so much. It's what you do from New Year's to Christmas that makes the big difference. So we don't catch disease. We earn it when we're not embracing the conditions of health and making sure that fitness is a big part of that game in there, which Chris is a genius about. And that's his passion. We're all focusing, he and I, on basically the same thing. Well, our our belief, if you will, about health is the same, but either we focus or we die. He has put a strong focus on the fitness, whereas my focus primarily was nutrition. But we embrace all of the components because that's the only way to do it. So, number one, you don't catch disease, you earn it. And number two, you only get well by what comes out of you, never by what goes into you. You will never drug yourself into health. They may appease a condition for a while, and but that's just how it is. You don't drug yourself. You don't. People take supplements. I said, look, supplements, they're complements. They're not circumvents.
Right.
They're to complement the meal, not to take the place of the meal. So if we get the meal down, now the supplements become a bonus instead of an act of appeasement. So never supplement a bad diet. Uh, ch- uh, Embrace the good diet. Okay. So first one, you don't catch disease, you earn it. Number two, you only get well by what comes out of you. And number three, you're healthy automatically by design and sick only by default. So I'm going to close off with this. Never give up your health in your quest for wealth because you will spend all that wealth to regain your health. And then when you die, something significant happens. Your brother in law gets to drive your car. Now that's a bummer. I enjoy, I enjoyed our time, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wayne. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is Chris Janke, joined with Dr. Wayne Pickering on health in the real world. Thanks, Dr. Wayne.
You're very welcome, buddy.
Thanks for listening to the Health in the Real World show. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Visit mycorebalance.com to learn more.